What renowned Nigerian author Chimamanda Endorses has just made a shocking statement about Peter Obi that has completely divided Nigeria's social media. She declared that he does not need to be president, while explaining why this might actually be exactly what makes him the leader Nigeria desperately needs in 2027. The explosive statement came during Chimamanda Adichie's interview on Channels Television's Amazing African program, where she threw her full support behind former Anambra State Governor and Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi. In the interview, Adichie explained the reason behind supporting Obi, saying, "My backing is rooted in my love for this country and in the belief that with the right leader, we can be better than we are." But it was her next statement that sent shockwaves across Nigerian politics. Adichie declared, "He doesn't need to be president. He wants to be because he cares about Nigeria. But it doesn't need to be. That's very important." According to the award-winning author, this attitude is what separates Peter Obi from other Nigerian politicians. She explained that while many politicians are driven by ego and desperation for power, Obi sees public service as a duty, not a platform for praise or personal gain. Adichie revealed that she has known Peter Obi personally for over 15 years, and throughout the entire time, his values have never changed. She described him, saying, "One of the simplest men I have ever known, and praised his consistency, is Peter Obi. The person I know 15 years ago is still the same in terms of his values. He's genuine, consistent, and curious." The author also highlighted Obi's approach to leadership, noting that he doesn't expect you to thank him for doing his job. To him, it's just his job. This humility, according to Adichie, is exactly what Nigeria politics has been missing.
Oh my word. But I think what I will say about your question, and I don't, part of the reason I don't like to speak speculatively about things I'm not sure of, so we don't know who's a candidate. But I will say that my support for Peter Obi, right, is something that I do not hesitate to proclaim or talk about, because I can tell you what it is rooted in. My support for Peter Obi is rooted in my love for this country. It's rooted in my belief that with the right leader, we can be better than we are. We can create a country where people feel included, a country that is not corrupt and does not tolerate corruption. Again, if you have the leader who's setting the tone, it makes all the difference. And I think that he's also a person who he doesn't need to be president. He wants to be because he cares about Nigeria, but he doesn't need to be, and that is a very important distinction. There are people who are desperate to become president, not because they have any good intentions for the country, but because of their own personal egos. And I think that distinction is so important, because you choose the right leader and you realize it's not about him. For Peter Obi, it's never been about him. Even as a person, his personality, I think, is very telling. He's one of the simplest men I have ever known, and I've known him for many years. And he is genuine and consistent. The person I knew 15 years ago is still the same person in terms of his values. And he's very curious. He wants to learn.
A comment come as Peter Obi has recently renewed his vow to serve only one term as president if elected in 2027. This promise has generated mixed reactions across the political landscape. Nigerian social media users are heavily divided over Adichie's endorsement. Supporters are praising her for highlighting the kind of humble leadership Nigeria needs, with many saying that a leader who doesn't desperately want power is exactly the type of person who should have it. However, critics are dismissing her comment as propaganda, with some questioning whether Obi's political promises can be trusted. The interview has also drawn responses from government officials, with presidential aide Bayo Ononuga publicly disagreeing with Obi's one-term promise, calling him wrong and comparing the situation to historic leaders like Abraham Lincoln, JFK, and Nelson Mandela. Adichie's endorsement carries significant weight in Nigeria's intellectual and cultural circles, as she is one of the country's most respected international voices and award-winning authors. What do you think about Chimamanda Adichie's statement that Peter Obi doesn't need to be president? Do you agree that leaders who don't desperately want power makes the best leader? Or do you think ambition is necessary for effective leadership? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this political update interesting, please hit that like button to support NaijaNews TV. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out the latest Nigerian political news and celebrity endorsements. Stay tuned as we continue to follow the build-up to the 2027 elections.